SPHEREx has a new version of the spectrophotometry tool. From the main IRSA homepage, go to the SPHEREx page and then click on SPHEREx Data Explorer. Even for the spectrophotometry tool, I always like to start with the spectral image search because it gives me a sense of how long it's going to take me to run the spectrophotometry tool. You can see as I'm recording this that SPHEREx has pretty much done the whole sky. So if I put in the position of the object that I care about, it's going to give me a sense of how many images the spectrophotometry tool is going to need to load in order to do the calculation. So for this object, there's 201 images. So the spectrophotometry tool isn't going to need too long to do the calculation. So let's go to the spectrophotometry tool tab. It looks an awful lot like the spectral image search tab, but it is different. It's remembered the target that I put in before, and it has different choices here. Now, keep in mind that the only thing that it's fitting is the flux. It needs a really good position, and if you're fitting a galaxy, then it needs really good estimates of all of these parameters. It's not fitting any of these parameters. It's only fitting the flux. So this is just a point source, so I'm going to submit it. Now, it takes a long time to do this calculation. It turns out I've already done this calculation before. I can load the job that I did before. Jobs stick around for about 2 weeks, and so anytime you come back to the same browser session, you can load past jobs. So this is the previous job that I submitted. It completed. To load it into the session, I click on that icon, and it matches the icon that would show up here in results. So I'm going to load it into here, and it's going to load the results just as if the job just finished. So there's the source that I asked for. There's the spectrum that it extracted. Here's the individual cutouts from the individual constituent images. So if I click on a point in the spectrum, then it will automatically go and extract a cutout from the corresponding images. So that highlighted point is the highlighted image here. So I clicked on this one. That is the highlighted center cutout. So the one that's on the left is 1 point left of it. The one that's on the right is 1 point right of it. All of these are interactive images, just like all the other images in the tool. But I want to highlight for you the fact that this calculation the spectrophotometry tool is doing is taking advantage of all the bit masks that are present in the images. And the image overlays make it really easy to investigate what bit masks exist in the constituent images. So if you go to the layers icon, it says mask layer found. Let's enable the mask layer and let's turn on all of the masks, but let's actually turn off the source one. Now, there's online help that tells you an awful lot about the spectrophotometry tool, including information about all of the masks. You can go to the explanatory supplement for even more details about what exactly the calculation is doing, what all of these masks are. There's some background context and there's lots more information here, but let me just give you the high-level summary. Large numbers are bad, and all of these things are telling you things about what the code thinks is happening in the individual images. So by invoking this mask layer, it's telling you, it's overlaying on the images information about what it thinks is going on in these constituent images. So if I click on the individual images that went into constructing this spectrum, it's going to overlay that mask information on all of these constituent images. Let's get that overlay back here. See that one that's green? It's telling you that that pixel had an overflow error. So by doing this, you can explore whether or not the individual images that went into the spectrum that you have here are things that you need to worry about. So while I definitely encourage you to read the documentation, the stuff that's embedded in this tool, but also the documentation that's part of the explanatory supplement, that will help you understand what exactly is going on here. I also want to emphasize the power that exists within this tool to help you assess whether or not to believe what the tool is telling you. Because it can also tell you, for example, if the position you gave it is a good position. In this particular case, the position seems pretty well centered on the source. But if you gave it a position of a source that has a high proper motion, this would tell you right away whether or not the source position you gave it is actually centered on the source that you see. So just a reminder that you can submit lists of sources to the spectrophotometry tool by selecting multi-object, but you are limited to a max of 20 sources per query, and you are limited to 2 queries running simultaneously, because these are computationally intensive requests, and especially if you ask for things in the ecliptic poles, it can take a very long time to do these calculations. Have fun exploring SPHEREx data.